I used to think hitchhiker horror stories were just internet myths, until one night on a deserted highway in Arizona, I picked up someone who shouldn't have been alive. And the worst part, when I checked my dashcam footage the next morning, there was never anyone in my car. This happened about 3 years ago. I was driving from Phoenix to Flagstaff late at night after visiting a friend. It was already past midnight, and the highway was almost completely empty. If you've ever driven those long desert highways, you know how eerie they feel at night. Just endless road, no street lights, nothing but darkness and the occasional truck passing by. My GPS said I still had about 2 hours left. Around 1:30 a.m., I was driving through a stretch of road surrounded by desert hills, when I saw something strange up ahead. At first, I thought it was a road sign, but as I got closer, I realized it was a person standing on the side of the highway. Now that alone was weird. There were no towns for miles in either direction, and this guy wasn't waving for help or anything. He was just standing there, perfectly still. As I drove past him, my headlights lit up his face. He looked pale, like almost gray, and he was wearing what looked like an old flannel shirt and jeans. Something about the way he stared at my car gave me chills, but I kept driving for about 30 seconds. Then I started feeling guilty. Maybe his car broke down. Maybe he needed help. So I slowed down and checked my rearview mirror. He was still there, standing in the exact same spot. I don't know why, but I decided to turn around. I made a U-turn and drove back toward him. As I pulled up, he slowly walked toward the passenger side door. That was the first moment I felt something was seriously wrong. His walk looked unnatural, like his legs were stiff. He opened the passenger door and sat down. "Thanks," he said quietly. His voice sounded dry, almost strained. I asked him if he needed a ride somewhere. He said he just needed to get to the next town. I asked where he came from. He pointed behind us and said, "My car broke down a few miles back." That seemed reasonable, but something about him still bothered me. For one thing, he never blinked. Not once. And the entire time he was staring straight ahead, not looking at me, not looking out the window, just straight ahead. We drove for about 5 minutes in silence. Then I tried to start a conversation. "So what were you doing out here so late?" He didn't answer immediately. About 10 seconds passed. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. "I've been here a long time." I laughed awkwardly and said, "Yeah, the highway's pretty empty at night." But he didn't respond. Another few minutes went by, and that's when I noticed something in the side mirror. There were no headlights behind us, but I could see something else. Dust, like a cloud of dust following my car. I figured it was just wind blowing sand from the desert. But the weird thing was, it stayed directly behind us, for miles. Then the hitchhiker suddenly spoke again, without turning his head. "You shouldn't have come back for me." I asked what he meant. He slowly turned his head toward me, and I swear his eyes looked completely empty. Not like normal eyes, like there was no life behind them. Then he said something I'll never forget. This is where it happened. Right as he said that, my headlights passed over something on the road shoulder. A wrecked car, completely smashed. It looked old, like it had been there for years. And right next to it was a small roadside memorial, flowers, a wooden cross, and a faded photograph. As we passed it, the hitchhiker leaned forward suddenly, stopped the car. His voice sounded completely different now, angry, panicked. So I slammed on the brakes. When the car stopped, I turned toward the passenger seat, and he was gone. The door was still closed. There was no way he could have gotten out. My heart was pounding. I jumped out of the car and looked around. Nothing, just the empty highway. Then I noticed the memorial again. I walked toward it with my phone flashlight. The wooden cross had a name carved into it, and a date. The accident happened in 1998. Underneath the name was a photograph, and when I saw it, my blood ran cold, because the man in the photo was the exact same hitchhiker I had just picked up. Same face, same flannel shirt, same empty stare. I drove away as fast as I could, but the story doesn't end there. The next morning, I checked my dashcam footage. I wanted proof of what happened, but when I played the video, my car never stopped. I never turned around, and the passenger door never opened. According to the footage, I drove that entire highway alone, so either my dashcam glitched, or the thing I picked up that night was never really there at all.